Bonjour y'all. Welcome to Wellness for Everybody. I'm Amanda, and today I'm going to show you a few things for brand new moms. You've carried around a human in your body for a while now, and I just want to help you feel a little bit better about yourself. Just learn to have a little bit of compassion for yourself, because a lot of times after we have babies, we're so busy taking care of the baby that we forget to take care of ourselves. And we tend to be harder on ourselves than we are our friends and our family members. So just remember, you just gave life. Have compassion for yourself. But I'm going to show you a few things today that can help strengthen your core muscles and your pelvic floor, just to get you back on track for living a new normal life. So we want to think about exercises that strengthen your core and your pelvic floor. And Kegel exercises are great for that, and they're great all the time. So when you do a Kegel exercise, basically you want to think about squeezing the pelvic floor, almost like you're trying to stop the flow of urine. And when you squeeze that, you want to hold it for a couple of seconds and then release. And it doesn't take, anyone knowing that you're doing it. You can sit down, you can stand up, you can lay down. However you want to do it, it's fine. You just simply think of cutting off that flow of urine, holding it for a few seconds and releasing. And you can do this several times throughout the day, and no one will ever know you're doing it. The next one is we want to talk about diaphragmatic breathing. So a lot of times as women, we tend to breathe with our chest. Everything we feel is up here, right? We want to think about not doing that and breathing with our belly. So when you breathe, you inhale, don't move your shoulders or your chest. You want to feel your belly expand. So think of a balloon. When you blow into a balloon, it expands. So it's the same thing with your belly. As you inhale, your belly should expand. And when you exhale, you're going to think of that belly button going towards your spine. And you can make sure you get a full exhale that way, because you want all that air out of your belly, okay? And by doing that, you're strengthening your core muscles, you're oxygenating your full body, and you overall become more relaxed and healthier just by doing those two steps. Your core muscles are working and you're fully oxygenating your body, okay? The next one I want to talk to you about is pelvic tilt. All right, so give me just a second to set up for that and I'll be right back. All right, we're back. We're gonna do the posterior pelvic tilt. So basically, there's a natural curve in your lower back when you're laying down. And what we wanna do is we wanna flatten that towards the floor. And that's a pelvic tilt, and it's activating your transverse abdominal muscles, your glutes, and your pelvic floor, just by using the anatomical nature of your body, all right? So we're gonna lay on the floor, on your mat. It needs to be a pretty sturdy surface. You don't wanna lay on the bed, and the bed automatically pulls you in with that curvature. So I'm gonna kind of pull my shirt a little tight here. You should see there's a little curve here that comes from your glutes, arches up into the lower back, and then back down into your upper back. So when you're doing this, you wanna think about tilting the pelvis this way so that flattens against the floor, all right? You hold that for a few seconds and release. And then do it again. Okay? So that's going to strengthen all that. And then we're going to do glute bridge. So I've done this one on several other ones. You're laying in the same position. And basically you're going to pull your heels in a little closer. And on an inhale, you're going to squeeze your glutes and lift. And lower on your exhale. Up. On your inhale, hold for a few seconds, exhale, lower down. Inhale, and exhale, okay? So your glute bridge, that's working pretty close to the same muscles that the posterior tilt is. Walking is a great way to get you started into getting a little bit of cardio in. You're not ready to run yet, but walking, it helps you burn calories. It's going to improve your circulation. You're increasing the risk of the deep vein thrombosis because you're moving, the blood's flowing, and it strengthens the muscle of your legs. All right, so you want to start by walking about 10 to 15 minutes a day, 3 to 4 times a week, and we're slowly going to build up. It's a great way to get your body moving again after you've delivered a child, whether that be vaginally, C-section. You want to make sure that you get some movement in your body, okay? Give me just a second and I'll be right back to set up with the rest. Okay, we're back. As you see now, I have 2 chairs, one on each side of me. I'm going to show you an assisted dip, okay? A lot of times if you go to a gym, they have the assisted dip machine where you can put your knees on it, and it's the same, it's basically attached to the pull-up machine that's assisted, so you can change the weight on it, okay? Everything I'm doing today, we're doing it at home. So I'm using 2 chairs. I'm going to squat down. I'm going to put one hand on each chair. If you have higher chairs, great, whatever's comfortable for you. And I'm using my feet to help push me up. So I'm going down, I'm bending my elbows, and I'm going to use as much strength as I can through my arms. But when I lose that capability to continue to push with my arms, that's when I push through my feet. So I'm pushing, and then lose my feet to stand the rest of the way, okay? And this is helping them to strengthen your triceps, your shoulder, your chest. And it's a great way to bring that motion back in. You're gonna be carrying a baby around. You wanna be strong for that. You don't want your arms to get tired while you're carrying the baby. So we wanna build that strength. And this is how you do it, okay? The next one I'm going to show you, let me just move these chairs a little bit out of the way. Is a squat. All right, everyone knows squats. I've done videos where we use the chair to do the squats. I can attach that one just if you need reference. You can pull that up. But basically, we're going to stand with our feet about hip width apart. Be cognizant of where your hips are. A lot of people use hip width and they're out here. Hip width apart. We're going to bend our knees, but push our hips back. Chest stays up. Okay, you want to go till you're about 90 degrees, pushing back through the feet, standing up again. So hips go back, knees are bent, 90 degrees, pushing through the heels, up. All right, if you need assistance with that, again, you can use the chairs. I'll link that video in with this so you can look back at that and see what I'm talking about with that one. All right, that's going to strengthen your quads, your adductors, and your glutes. All right, reverse lunge. So a lot of people, when you think of a lunge, we're stepping forward. We're going to use the reverse. It helps train your balance, single leg strength, stability, core strength. It's all great. And I've also shown a video, I can link that one as well, of using a yoga block if you're not comfortable or don't feel like you have the strength to do this, or bad knees or anything like that. I'll link that video in. But I'm gonna stand sideways here so you can see. I'm gonna take my right leg back and drop down, okay? If you feel okay with this, great. If you need a little bit of boost, you can set it down for a second, come back up, and just switch legs. And this tends to be a little bit easier doing a reverse lunge than a forward lunge, okay? All right, so that's the lower body wall push-ups. I've done this one several times. This is great for introducing push-ups to yourself. You just had a baby. You're not doing anything extreme on the core. We're doing light work just to try and strengthen it back up, okay? So with the wall push-up, you're gonna find a wall. Give me just a second. I'm gonna set up this one real quick. All right, we're back. I got the wall. So we're gonna place our hands on the wall a little bit higher than shoulder height. And we're gonna step back so our body's at an angle, okay? Now, if you wanna work triceps more, you can put your hands closer in. You wanna work chest more, they're further out. So you bend your elbows and push. Same thing with the tricep one. bend, and push. All right? If you feel like that's too much, you can step a little bit closer and do it that way, okay? You can play around with the height of your hands, where you want it. It's going to depend on how deep you go into it. As you get more comfortable, your doctor clears you to do a little bit more work, then we can drop down onto using a counter, a chair, and then work our way down onto the floor for a full push-up. But for now, until you're cleared, we're just trying to do a little bit of strengthening exercise, no major core work. We'll start with the wall. All right? Give me just a second. I'll be right back to show you the last two. All right, the last two I'm going to show you, we're using our bands. I've had a video or two where I've done these. I'll make sure I link them in because there's several different exercises you can do with a band, and I talk about them on there. So we're going to take our band, arms are out. Now, depending on your strength level is going to depend on where you want your hands, so just kind of play around with it. The closer your hands are together, the more difficult it is to pull apart. The further apart, the easier, okay? I'm going to start out with mine just a little bit wider than shoulder width apart, all right? And this is going to work your upper back, your shoulders, and your rotator cuff, all right? So arms are straight out, just a slight bend in the elbows. We don't want to lock them out. And I'm going to take and pull out to the sides, and the band is coming towards my chest. And slowly back to the center. All right, when you're pulling apart, try and squeeze those shoulder blades together. Slowly release. Out. And slowly release. Okay? Start off on a slow number of those. Start with 5. See how you feel. If you feel okay, move up to 7. Go until you get to where you can do, a few sets of 10. Start off with 2 sets of 10, move up to 3 sets of 10. We want to take everything slow when we're just coming back. This is major trauma that your body went through, and we want to make sure you're doing everything slowly to get back to where you need to be. All right? Give me just a moment, and I'll be right back with the last one. All right, we're back with the last one, banded kickbacks. And this is going to work your glutes, your hamstrings, and your core. All right? So any of these exercises you're doing, I probably don't mention it as much as I need to, but when you're doing any exercises, you should try and hold your core tight, because even though you're not focusing on the core, when you're holding it tight, it's automatically working the core, all right? So we're going to take our band, we're going to get down on tabletop position, so your knees are under your hips, hands are under your shoulders, okay? I've got the band around my foot, and I'm holding it with my hand. And I'm simply going to take my foot and kick back and bring it back in. Back and in. All right, so this is working a little bit of balance as well, which is what's helping with that core muscle, okay? Anytime you take one of your major stability points away, now you're working with 3. And you have to try and not let your body fall to the one side where the weight is. So keeping that balance is working the core, and it all works together. Okay, so again, hands under shoulders, knees under hips, and kick back. All right, so same thing as I said with the pull apart. So you're going to start off slow, just a few at a time, each side. When you feel comfortable, you can move up on the amount of reps you do. Make sure you're taking everything slow, don't jump in full steam ahead. Then you get injured, you hurt, you don't want to do anymore. Nice and slow. As you feel comfortable, add more. All right? So that's all I have for you today. As I said, there's a few of them that I'm going to link the previous videos in, just so you can see some other options that you have to do with certain things, okay? If you have any comments or questions on any of that, make sure you comment below. I will answer. And as always, if you like what you've seen, if you've learned anything, make sure you like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time on Wellness for Everybody.